Hey, good morning. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the love chapter. And it's interesting, this chapter has kind of become the marriage chapter, but we need to remember the context of Paul is writing about spiritual gifts and writing about the church. And his point is, if you can use your spiritual gifts within the church, but if you have not love, it's useless. You gain nothing. And he makes that point in the first part of chapter 13 that any gifts we use, but if it's not done in love, is nothing. And if we think about love in the context of the church beyond, yes, I think it's applicable for, you could use it for marriage, but it is, are we loving within the church? And then Paul gives a description of love, and I'm going to read actually from the Message translation because it's a modern day language that it says, love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut. Love doesn't have a swollen head. Love doesn't force itself on others. It isn't always me first. Love doesn't fly off the handle. Love doesn't keep score of the sins of others. Love doesn't revel when others grovel. Interesting. Love takes pleasure in the flowering of truth. Love puts up with anything. Love trusts God always. It always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end. Love never dies. Just some interesting ways to describe love in the context of the church. And in my experience with the church, I see this partially. I don't see this always in whole. So the question for each one of us is, where do we struggle within the church in showing love? Love is patient, love is kind. It is not arrogant or rude. It doesn't insist on its own way. How often are we focused on what we want in the church, as opposed to loving and what others need and what others want? So just some things to think about. Are you living out love, this call to love within the church? And then we can expand it to other relationships. But our ministry, our passions, our talents, any of that, if it's not done with love, it is absolutely useless. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love. It should drive everything. God bless. Have a great day. And I'd say I love you, but I certainly throw that out with easy words. But do I love you with how I live my life? With patience and kindness and all the fruit of the Spirit. So God bless. Let's move in that direction as a church. Let's move in that direction to how we treat each other. Take care.